Hey, what's up guys? It's Mishka. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this very cool miniature, I'm calling it an inspo zine. This is basically a little booklet full of reminders that you might want to carry with you throughout 2020. It can be any theme you want and say anything you want inside. I created this by using a standard mini zine layout, which measures 8.5 by 11. You only need one piece of paper. And I'm actually going to throw a template in the description below if you want to just download the template and use that. Because I used this zine template, I thought it would be cool to just give some context in case you don't know where zines come from. And I was going to say it had to do with the punk movement in the 70s and the riot girl movement in the 90s, which is when I discovered it, but silly me, I did a little research and it goes back to the 1500s. And throughout the 20th century popped up a lot in different movements, including the Surrealist movement, Dadaism, all kinds of different art movements and political movements use zines to sort of create unofficial distribution of ideas and promote different things within subcultures. The whole premise is really just the people's point of view as opposed to what major media outlets were publishing. So when I was in high school, girls were making zines and there were girls reading, Cosmo, and then there were girls reading zines their friend made, which was really cool. Anyway, I'll also link this really cool page down below where you can read about the entire history of zines from 1517 up until, now. So I started off in Photoshop with the template provided and I started adding backgrounds. I numbered the pages so that you can see what's what. All the images and the backgrounds I used are either from stock photo sites like pexels.com and Unsplash or Creative Market. CreativeMarket.com is a place where you can buy different graphic design elements and all kinds of amazing things for your creative projects. I am actually an affiliate, so if you click on the Creative Market links below, I will get a small percentage of anything you buy, which is a great way to support this channel. So anyway, going through one by one and sort of collaging or digitally scrapbooking elements onto each page, you can create your little zine. Depending on where you are going to put it or what you're going to do with it, you can add inspirational quotes, you can add recipes, you can add photos of friends, you can turn this into a miniature birthday card, you can add one resolution per page, you can use it for virtually anything you can think of. So just be creative and dive in and just see what happens, see what you want to make. Traditionally, these zines would be made with this sort of folding method, which I'll show you, but it would be all cut and paste. So they would use a typewriter or whatever and type out paragraphs or phrases and then tape it onto the page and then add elements, really collage elements on top. So there would be a ripped piece of paper with a word and hand-drawn elements on one side and then a typed out paragraph, and it was all very fantastic and DIY and massively creative, and I just loved that so much. So of course this version is digital, but you could still do the old school version and then photocopy it to be extra DIY about it, or you could scan it in and then print it. So I decided to put these different phrases in my little mini inspo zine that I wanted to stay conscious of during the day. So I basically added some of the quotes that I've written down already in my little 2020 bullet journal. So I just added some of those in. As you can see, none of them are rocket science, none of them are groundbreaking. It's just little things I really wanted to remember. As you're working, you can rotate the page, of course, so that you have a right side up view of what you're working on. And if you want to be aesthetic about it, just control your color palette and definitely use some natural looking elements like these digital pieces of tape or vintage photo frames. You can play with transparency, different fonts, different color palettes. I think this probably took about 30 minutes to design from start to finish, maybe a little less. I didn't think too much about it. I think that's important because if I get into one of these projects and I start thinking too much, I just won't do it. Or if I go on Pinterest and try to find inspiration, I'll end up not doing it because I get, sort of overwhelmed with possibilities. So I would recommend just diving in and going for it. And yes, this is a little photo of me when I was in elementary school. I think I was probably 5 or 6. And I am reading poetry to the class. And I was given special time at the end of the class to read my poems. And my poems were about students who were not nice to me turning into little miniature animals and falling into animal cages and being class pets and how those mean kids turned into class pets. So I cannot believe the audacity that I had when I was younger, and I had a complete, sometimes to my detriment, a disregard for being self-conscious. I just never was when I was young. And of course that did not continue throughout my whole life, but I always like to remind myself, because in this photo I just look massively confident. I like to remind myself to tap into that vintage Mishka confidence level that obviously is completely ridiculous, but might be helpful. So yeah, when you're done designing to your heart's content and you're ready to print, just make sure you're printing in landscape mode and that you are scaling to fit media so that you get your whole design on the page. And then you can print that bad boy out. And once it prints out, you are going to just fold it and crease along the lines of the different pages. And I kind of was haphazard here. Just make sure that you are folding nice and clean when you fold, if that's important to you, so that the final product with all these folds will be very neat. Once you've folded, you can unfold, and you're going to fold it in half down the center, and you're going to cut that one small section right in the middle, as shown. Once that's cut, you'll unfold it again, and then you'll press the two center pages together, like so. So that you have created a booklet where your front page and back page are side by side, and you can fold it over one more time. And then you have yourself a little miniature zine. And you can put it in your wallet, put it in your pocket, hide it somewhere where someone can find it, and just carry it with you. And that's it, guys. I hope if you like this little DIY, you'll subscribe below and check out some of those links for the template and the history of zines. And I hope you're having a wonderful 2020 so far. Drop a comment, let me know how it's going, and let me know what you want to see next. I'll see you guys soon.